Hi guys, it's SkintBoot here, and today what I'm going to be bringing you guys finally is a newer episode of This Week in No Man's Sky. Now, I know I'm incredibly late with this, I haven't done one of these in a while. I could go into 1,000 different reasons why I haven't made one of these in such a long time, but I know that you would not give a shit, so I won't talk about that. But just in case this is the first episode which you have caught of this series, it is basically a small series which I've created to try and talk about some fairly recent events or topics or debates or what have you in the No Man's Sky community this week, in sort of like quotation marks, because quite often No Man's Sky doesn't have a great deal of exciting stuff that's drastically different each week, so some of it might be a little bit older, but my intentions of it is to basically talk about some stuff which is going on currently or has been going on in a much more informal way, without a script, without any editing. It's very much a podcast style video, and it allows me, I guess, to speak a bit more of my mind and use a bit more improvisation instead of sticking to a kind of, you know, set out strict script. A lot of S's right there. So in today's video, what I want to look at are a few different things, most of which again haven't happened strictly this week, but they've happened at least fairly recently. I want to talk about the newest community event. I want to talk about how we didn't receive a Christmas update, my home base, some potential purchases which I'm going to be making relating to No Man's Sky and how this might benefit YouTube and things like that. So there's a fair amount to talk about today, and as stated, I do want to start off by talking about the newest community event. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that the newest event which Hello Games added, which was a minor patch as well, which came with some general, you know, fixes, tweaks, things like that, was the final community event, I believe, this year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but for 2018, I was going to say 2017, then fuck me, for 2018, I believe that this is the last event which we will receive. But this event is different in a lot of different ways, and Hello Games have kind of adjusted how community events work in terms of the technical side, but also the gameplay side as well. You may be aware that this community event is very different in the fact that you aren't just doing one set task and you're not doing it on your own. Hello Games made big adjustments to how you actually go about doing these missions and how the progress is saved. And first of all, as you probably know, the community event progress is actually tracked globally. So instead of you doing it and it's your own progress bro, fuck me, progress bar, make it very clear. I said progress bar, it's really fucking hard to say, but the progress bar is actually shared by the community. I don't know if this is cross-platform. I don't think it is. I think it's based on each specific platform. So Xbox, PS4 and PC all have separate progress, but you're basically working as a community to build up the tiers, and then each tier unlocks something until you get to a final reward, and so on. So that is very different to how it used to be, where you just used to do one set task and you keep doing it until it ends, basically. Now we have to work almost as a community to everyone do their bit in order to rank the tiers up. One man's progress isn't exactly going to win the whole kind of event for us. Everyone has to do a little bit of it. So that's one of the big differences. And the second difference is how you can actually choose somewhat what the community mission is. So at the moment, I believe there are 3 selections. The only 2 which I remember are destruction and exploration. I can't recall what the other one is off the top of my head, but destruction usually revolves around destroying the little depot things, going back to the, you know, little starship intercom thing, getting your reward and so on. Exploration, I can imagine, would be scanning stuff and all of that stuff. So you can basically choose the playstyle which you play. If you're an aggressive person and you like taking out bounties and destroying pirates and shit like that, then you'll probably go with the destruction path. Those events which you will then do are focused around that playstyle, so you're not kind of adhering to something which you don't necessarily like. And I think this is a really damn good idea for so many different reasons, but you know, the clearest one by far is that No Man's Sky in the past was always advertised as a game which you can play how you want. You can be a trader, a pirate, an explorer. You can kind of play the game how you wish to play it, and these community events don't pull you away from that playstyle you want, and instead actually enforce that kind of way which you go about playing the game. And I think that's a really good move on Hello Games' behalf. I think that is one of the best things they could have done with the community event. So now it feels like we're doing it as a team almost, but at the same time we're still very much doing it how we want to do it. There's much more of a level of choice, and maybe somewhere down the line there'll be even more options other than those three. So I really like that. I can't stress how much I like that, to be honest. And I haven't played No Man's Sky in a while because, you know, Christmas and family and Amsterdam and all of that shit. I've been very away from technology, and when I have gone on, I've just played a bit of Euro Truck and calmed down and had a coffee and stuff like that. So I haven't actually played No Man's Sky since I think the day I got back from Amsterdam, but I've heard that Tier 1 has been completed, which is always nice. I would probably double check that, because even though I did see it on Reddit about an hour ago, I haven't checked it myself. But from what I've been seeing, things are going quite well. People are playing the community event, and that is ultimately what we want. I'm guessing if it's based on the platforms, then consoles are going to be a lot easier, because PS4 and Xbox have a lot more players than PC. PC probably has about like 3 and a bit thousand playing, but I can imagine consoles likely have a lot more. So console progress is usually going to be quicker than PC progress. At least that's kind of how I look at it. But yeah, the community events in general, they're a weird one, because I started off not really caring about them. They started off and they were a little bit boring, you know, go here, scan this rock, get your rewards and shit. It was a little too easy, and there wasn't much diversity. But as time has gone on, and even before the change of how they work, you know, with the shared progress and how you choose what you want to do for it, I found that they got a lot more interesting, and I was happy with that. I was quite content with how they were before, but this, you know, recent change to how everything goes down is even better in my book. So these community events have actually become probably one of my favourite things about the game, which is really strange. It started off as something which I didn't give a shit about, and then became something which I actually really enjoyed. Kind of like No Man's Sky itself, in a weird sort of ironic turn of events. But, you know, ultimately community events do what they have to do. They keep us company, they give us somewhat fresh content in between major updates, and yeah, I would find it hard not to have them, because they're a really damn good time killer. They give everyone like a little communal goal. Reddit is, you know, popping off with tips and shit like that, people showing off all the stuff they've bought, and, you know, it's generally just a really good idea. So Hello Games, if you just so happen to be listening, keep it up, because I know a lot of the community enjoy it. I enjoy it myself as well, so if you could keep making it even better, then that'd be absolutely fantastic. It's a really good means of keeping us occupied until big content updates come out, so thank you very much for that. So up next, I want to speak a little bit about Christmas, and mainly relating to the update which some people spoke about, which I'll make a video about, which was relating to a major Christmas themed update, or at least a big update dropping at the end of the year to kind of see off 2018. So obviously that didn't happen. We did receive the minor one, which was I'm not even going to pretend to know what it was called, but it was the one which, you know, added in the new community event and things like that. That was our last update for 2018, and we didn't receive a big update. I was, you know, fairly certain that we were going to, because, you know, looking at it in terms of the seasons and the celebrations, we had one for Thanksgiving, we had one for Halloween. Christmas would have made sense, and, you know, I made a video speculating about what Hello Games could do with that, but we didn't see that. It doesn't matter. It's in the past. You know, I get things wrong sometimes, like everyone, and I'm not salty, I'm not pissed off. I don't think anyone is pissed off, to be honest, because we can't expect big updates, but that didn't happen. But what we do know is that 2019 is going to be a really damn good year for No Man's Sky, because in the recent update, the one which sorted the community event, there was this little tiny paragraph at the end which basically said that a portion of Hello Games are working on major content updates, as in more than one, for 2019. So we had this confirmation that no, 2018 isn't the end of No Man's Sky. 2019, if anything, will be a really damn damn good year for the game, possibly even topping this year, which would be very hard because next I think is going to be extremely hard to top. But major content updates are coming. I don't remember if I even made speculation. I think I did do speculation about it, yeah. But there isn't really much I can add that is different to that video. All I think is that eventually, somewhere down the line, somewhere in 2019, we will likely see a next size update. So I don't exactly know what will warrant the size of that update. It could be full-fledged multiplayer with player models, bigger lobbies, better interaction, or it could be something like animals, AI, procedural generation, flora, base building, or a polish of existing features. You know, there is so much which can be done, and that isn't a bad thing because No Man's Sky is in a really good place at the moment, but the only way forward is, you know, further down the line, making the game even goddamn better. So 2019 is going to be really, really good. I'm really very much looking forward to seeing what's going to be going on with the game, and hopefully, if all goes to plan, we should see a fairly next size-ish update, or maybe 1.3, something similar to those big game-changing updates in 2019. We may even see 2 or 3 if Hello Games stick to their word about them working on major content updates more than one. You gotta emphasize that. But yeah, Christmas is basically over. As of recording, it is the day after Boxing Day, so my celebrations are over. I'm going to start taking my decorations down. I'm going to start thinking about New Year's Eve and trying not to die and shit like that. But Christmas was good for me. I didn't get anything too major apart from the new posters which I put on Twitter. Don't know if you guys saw them, but I essentially got 2 minimalistic Fallout posters, and then I had a No Man's Sky one slap bang in the middle, so I got a little bit more colour now. It's looking quite tasty, I will admit. And I also got, you know, like, I got an actual Xbox game for once in my life. I haven't got an Xbox game in fucking years, but I got NHL 19 because I like NHL. I used to be a lot bigger on it, on ice hockey, a few years back. I went off it when I stopped playing consoles, but I got that. I'm enjoying that. And yeah, Christmas is all done with. I can start to think about getting back into YouTube a lot more. I know my analytics have absolutely fucking gone down the shitter, because quite clearly all good things must come to an end, and I just have to keep working and doing what I do best. But that is Christmas done with. Normality can return. I can listen to normal music. I can focus more on YouTube, and I can, most importantly, be an antisocial cunt and sit at my computer and do loads of YouTube videos. So that's good for you, not necessarily good for people that I know, but does that matter? No, because YouTube is going to be a good one in 2019, and I'm going to try an absolute shit ton to make the channel even better, and hopefully, if No Man's Sky is getting these big updates, that will provide me with plenty of content to make for you guys. So the next thing which I do want to briefly touch on, because I know I've dragged on about this so much, is the MZK home base. I'm counting this as something that happened in the community, even though it sounds like I absolutely love myself, but there is so little to talk about. I'm just going to have to talk about this again. But I put out a video regarding my home base while I was away in Amsterdam, and I went back to the planet, saw a couple comm stations and shit like that, but I noticed that nothing was actually in my base. All the comm stations were at the portals. I was like, this is quite weird. And then I later found out that I never actually uploaded my base, so no one could see it. So I'm a fucking idiot, but I did upload it. So if you're planning on visiting the planet, then you should actually be able to see my base now. And really, just check it out if you want. You don't have to, of course. Some people for ages were telling me to make a home planet. They were like, Dan, I want you to make a base. I don't quite understand why. Maybe it's to leave a comm station and be part of a community or something. I'm really not sure, but it's there if you want it. I'm expanding on it. I'm getting into base building a lot more, so I'm going to be putting a lot of hours into making it bigger and more complex and you know, prettier to look at and things like that. So feel free to come over and check the base out, check out the home planet. I think it's a really nice planet, if I do say so myself. But the glyphs, I will include like a little guyzo in the descriptions. You can look at the portal glyphs if you do so want to go and have a little gander around and check out the base, which isn't that good compared to a lot of other people's, but again, it's a work in progress. But anyway, I'm going to shut up about that because I know some people don't give a shit. The final thing which I want to talk about is, again, something which I've been banging on for a while, but that is the PS4. I've mentioned this briefly, but I haven't quite gone into what I actually want to do once I get the PlayStation and things like that. So the basic gist, which I've said a million times, is that my YouTube paycheck, which finally came through, I'm going to be spending it on a PlayStation 4. Every time I have got money from YouTube, which is never usually a lot, unless it's like this case where that Visions video somehow blew up and gave me an absolutely fucking load of subs and all of that stuff, I will always spend it on YouTube stuff. So my recent paycheck, I bought a new pop filter. In the past, I bought the new mic arm, and you know, things like that. The idea of earning money off YouTube is not to go out and use it to buy your shopping. It's to put back into YouTube to make your quality even better. And it's kind of like a cycle, because then you should, in theory, get more revenue, and then it keeps getting better and things like that. So I like to do that. And I thought my next logical step, because I'm content with my setup at the moment, is to actually buy a PS4. And my main reason for buying a PS4 is to interact with the PlayStation No Man's Sky community. Mostly content creators. I know people like Jared, but most importantly Sword and Semtex, who I absolutely fucking love, and they always, you know, touch me up when I go into their streams, and I'm not complaining because they're beautiful men, and I feel like I never touched them up a lot. So I just want to say, Semtex, I don't know where the fuck you are, but I still love you anyway, and I really wish that you'd stream more, because I miss seeing your little face on your streams. Sword, you're like Semtex's fucking brother. You're both equally as sexy. I don't think I could pick a sexier group of men than you two. And I would love to make videos with them, and of course, until No Man's Sky becomes cross-platform, I will have to buy a PS4 in order to make content with them. But it's not just that, it's more about experiencing it on another platform, getting a feel for how it works. I could even possibly do some content videos with the PS4, because I do have an Elgato somewhere from, you know, years ago when I used to record on console. So that's definitely a possibility, but my main reasons for buying it is just to kind of be at one with the community. Sounds very pretentious, but you gotta remember, not a great deal of people play No Man's Sky on PC, because ultimately it was a PS4 exclusive. Xbox never got it, so a big portion of the content creators and the really tasty community members are on PlayStation 4, and I would love to add people up and meet up with them and go to their bases and shit like that. So that's what I'm excited about. I'm thinking about ordering it really as soon as possible. My only issue with it is that I don't have a monitor which I can hook it up to. The only monitor I have spare is hooked up to the Xbox, and then I won't even have a place to put the PS4 because the Xbox is so fucking big, because it's an original. So there's a lot of stuff I have to factor in before I even order it. Not to mention I have to buy PlayStation Plus and all of that shit. So there's a lot that's going into it. I'm going to Norway as well in like 2 weeks. So there's a lot of stuff which I've got to be thinking about, and I'm barely working, so I'm getting no money from that. So it might be a while until I finally make the purchase, but I'm just trying to be careful, make sure I don't get poor, or I don't rush into it and forget that I can't even use it because I can't buy PSN or something like that. So that is happening. It will just take a really long time, I guess you could say. But I'll keep you updated on Twitter if you follow me on Twitter. Or I'll use one of those really weird default YouTube story things, which are absolute dog shit. I could do either or. But I think that's just about all I want to say for this video. I know this was not very much focused on No Man's Sky itself, but rather just me talking about my life and shit which people don't care about. But until something fairly major happens, I find it quite tough to think of new things. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I was thinking about changing it from this week to this month, so then in turn that gives me a lot more stuff to talk about, and I can also probably make the episodes a bit longer as well. I don't know, it saves me talking about random shit as filler, so let me know if you'd prefer a monthly one instead of a weekly one, because I'd be happier with doing a monthly one. It would benefit me a great deal. But yeah, let me know, guys. yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then please do feel free to leave a like on it. And if you guys could also subscribe to MZK, then that'd be absolutely fantastic. And as always, I will see you guys on my next video. This is SkintBoot, signing out.